Welcome to this online event focused on Carleton University's application process. My name is Andy, and I am an international admissions officer, a member of our diverse international admissions team here at Carleton. And I've been at Carleton doing admissions for over 15 years. I also have the privilege of traveling throughout the world to visit high schools and meet families of students who have applied to Carleton or who may be interested in applying to Carleton. So I'm really happy to meet all of you here, albeit virtually. I know that many of you are looking at universities perhaps throughout Canada or perhaps even around the world, and that's great. You have a lot of options available to you. There are so many great universities worldwide, and there are a lot of great options within Canada as well. But Carleton has some advantages to being in the capital city, of course, and I think that since you're here attending this session, you're perhaps already familiar with Carleton University and the advantages of studying in Ottawa, the capital city of Canada. But I do want to review some key elements about the Carleton University application process for those of you who have not yet applied. Now, the undergraduate application is submitted online, and I'll explain more about that in just a little bit. But I also recommend that you apply once you start your final year of study. Sometimes students make the assumption that they have to have graduated before they can begin the application process, but that's not the case. We encourage you and we recommend that you apply while you are in your final year of high school, so that we can give you an offer of admission that is conditional perhaps upon your final grades or your final documents. And then it creates really a seamless transition from high school and then to university study. So you're not postponing your university studies too long. For many reasons, many of you may have already graduated high school and you may have postponed your studies for a wide variety of reasons. But for those of you who are still studying in high school and you're in your final year of study, you're ready to apply right now. We can consider you for admission based upon your mid-year results, your progress reports, perhaps your midterms, or in some cases, even your predicted grades, depending on your curriculum. And I also would like to give you some peace of mind about applying to Carleton University, because like our counterparts at other Canadian institutions, we are focusing on your grades, which means you don't need to provide us with a personal statement or an essay about why you're wanting to attend Carleton. We assume you want to attend because you have applied. Perhaps you're drawn to the diversity and the strength of our academic programs. But we are not going to require any SAT or ACT test results from you. We don't need any letters of recommendation from your teachers or your counselors. So we are really truly focused on your academic performance. Some of you may think, well, that's it. That seems really straightforward. There must be more to it. It really is straightforward because the best indication of your likelihood for success at the university level is evidence of previous academic success, and that is why we're focusing on your grades. So to apply, there are some steps you'll follow. You'll apply online, and our admission team will then request the documents needed to determine your eligibility. You will upload the documents directly to your application, and we'll also be asking for the transcript showing your most recent grades. It's okay to apply if you don't have all of your documents ready. Many students make the assumption that they need to have absolutely everything ready before they begin the application process, but that's actually not necessary. Once you create the application, you can then upload the documents directly to your application as they become available. For example, we may ask for midterm results or a list of the courses you're currently taking. And you may not have that at the time you're applying, especially if you're applying as early as September. Our applications typically open each September. So if you're applying very early, you may not have everything ready, and that's totally fine. You can provide that to us as those documents become available. We will then monitor your application and make a decision once we are able to do so. So Keep in mind, once you have applied, it's important to continuously monitor your application. I recommend checking in on your application at least once a week, perhaps even more often. Because it's possible we may ask for additional information. We may ask for the language test results. We may ask for a midterm grade for a specific course, or we may ask for information about your academic history that may not be apparent in your documents. So feel free to apply nice and early and provide the documents as they become available. That would be my recommendation. But how can you apply? If you are an international student, you actually have two options. You can apply directly to Carleton University through our website, Carleton 360, or you can apply through the Ontario University's Application Centre. Hopefully, Carleton 360 is already familiar to you, but if not, you can simply visit 360.carleton.ca to create an account, and it's very easy to do so. Doing so will actually streamline the entire process of applying for admission. Of course, if you are interested in applying to many different universities in the province of Ontario, I encourage you to consider applying through the Ontario University's Application Centre so that you can provide all of your details, your date of birth, your name, your address, your email address, all of that once, and then indicate which programs you're applying to at a variety of universities. However, if you are just applying to Carleton University and you are an international student, you may find our direct application through Carleton 360 to be a more affordable and economical option. Keep in mind, though, if you are Canadian or if you're a permanent resident of Canada, perhaps one of your parents has Canadian citizenship and you are studying abroad or living abroad, then the only way you'll be able to apply is through the Ontario University's Application Centre. Also, if you are currently enrolled in a school offering the Ontario curriculum, applying through the OUAC is the way you would apply as well. So I hope that's understandable. But if you are going to be applying directly to Carleton University, you'll go to Carleton 360. So that is 360.carleton.ca. If it's unfamiliar to you, this is what you'll find on the main landing page here. So I would encourage you to create an account if you don't already have one. But if you do already have one, you'll already be familiar with this, and you can log in using your email or the login ID that would have been emailed to you shortly after you first created your Carleton 360 account. So once you finish creating the Carleton 360 account, and I highly, highly recommend taking note of the password that you created. Perhaps you can keep the password in a secure folder on your phone or some other place that is private for you. Keep that in mind to remember your password. We're often resetting passwords, and we're happy to do that for you as well, but you'll find it much easier if you simply remember your Carleton 360 password. Once you're in, you'll see that there's a 360 Future, which is where you can get more detailed information about various degree programs that may be of interest to you, or you can click on Applications. When you click on Applications, you will see two options. You'll see the International Undergraduate application, which is where you'll go when you're applying for a bachelor degree at Carleton, which will be the case for the vast majority of you. If you are looking for a master's and PhD, well, that's great. You can certainly apply through Carleton 360 as well. But I do wish to remind you that this session in particular is focused primarily on the undergraduate applications. Now, there are useful resources available to you. You may think that this is a lot of information you're taking in right now, and you may be taking notes perhaps, but you really don't need to. There's lots of videos that you can find online to help you navigate Carleton 360, to help you set it up. There are step-by-step direct application instructions, and there's even videos on how you can upload documents directly to your application. Although the web addresses you see on your page here are not can't click on them right now because you're watching a video. However, if you would like us to share this information with you, you're welcome to email us at international@carleton.ca, and we'd be happy to share links to this information for you. You can also find much of this information on our website as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, in general, the academic performance is the most important criteria for admission. And while I talk, I encourage you to take a moment to scan this QR code, to go to our website, carleton.ca/international, to view our admission requirements. You'll find this a very helpful tool to help you understand what we're asking for you from you in order to consider you for admission to your program of choice. So the admission requirements do vary by program, and this means that we're typically looking for very specific courses and specific grades in those courses to determine if you are eligible for admission to your program of choice. As an example of this, programs like business and computer science are going to require mathematics, typically at the highest level available to you in your high school. This may be calculus or advanced functions or something to that effect. Science would require 2 experimental sciences as well as mathematics, and engineering would require chemistry, physics, and mathematics as well. That's just a few examples. But even if you're interested in things like architectural studies or industrial design or the liberal arts, you can see those requirements by using this very helpful tool. Now, I did mention that our primary focus when determining your eligibility for admission is going to be your academic performance at the highest level you have completed. For most of you, this will be your high school transcript, but if you have ever attempted university or college, you can share that information with us in the application itself. We do want to know that information because even if you've just completed a few courses at university or college, who knows, you may actually be eligible to receive some transfer of credit if you have completed post-secondary studies. The classes at Carleton are taught in English. I want to remind you of that. And so depending on your academic background, we may ask for the results of an English language proficiency test. I encourage you to scan this QR code or visit this website to view the tests that we accept and also the scores that we require. For example, to completely satisfy our English language requirements, if you've taken an IELTS test, we're looking for at least an overall score of 6.5 with no section being below 6. If you've written the TOEFL test already, then we're looking for an 86 overall with at least a 22 in writing and speaking and at least a 20 in reading and listening. If you are about to take the TOEFL test, these scores will change a little bit as of yesterday. But if you took the TOEFL test previously, these are the scores we're looking for. If you are about to take the test, please visit our website to review those particular scores we will be looking for on the new testing system. But don't worry if you don't score high enough in your language test to meet our requirements. If you're coming directly from high school, we can still consider you for an alternate offer. You may still be eligible for admission to a degree program with the requirement that you take some additional English language support classes. So try not to worry too much about that. And keep in mind, the education system in Canada, for the most part, is quite flexible as well. Now, for most of our programs, the application deadline is April the 1st. There are some exceptions, which you'll see listed on the right side of your screen, and these are the programs that have additional requirements. For example, architectural studies, industrial design, interactive multimedia and design. They require a portfolio as part of the application and admission process. Our Bachelor of Music also has a requirement for a creative practice portfolio. So these are some of the unique programs that have additional requirements where it goes beyond simply your grades from high school or your post-secondary studies. And as a result of this, we do ask you to apply a little bit earlier, typically by March the 1st. Now, once you have applied and we've had the opportunity to review your academic documents, determine your eligibility, if you are coming directly from high school with the highest level of study, we will automatically consider you for an entrance scholarship. And these scholarships are automatic and guaranteed to applicants who meet these grade requirements. And don't stress out about having a gap in your studies. If you've already graduated from high school and you've been working or saving your money or helping work at the family business, perhaps, just taking a break from school while you sort out where you wish to attend university, don't worry about that. That's absolutely fine. We can still consider you for these scholarships as well. We also have a more valuable and more competitive scholarship available called Prestige Scholarships. These are the highest awards that Carleton offers, and they're openly available to international students as well as Canadian citizens or permanent residents. Now, the caveat is you do need to apply separately for these awards, and you must do so before the March 1st deadline. That is a very firm deadline. But in this situation, we are looking at not only your grades to ensure you have sufficient grades for admission and for eligibility for these particular scholarships, but we're also looking at your extracurricular activities, your engagement in your school, your involvement in your community, things like that. This is what determines who can receive these special and competitive prestige scholarships. But we also have a new award that we're very excited about that is exclusively for our international students. This is the President's Welcome Award for international students, and the value ranges from $2,000 to $5,000 in your first year. This is also an automatic award, so you do not need to apply separately for this. I'm also super excited to let you all know that some of our international tuition fees have been reduced and others have been kept at a fixed level for the next few years. So as of the fall of 2026, the new fees are guaranteed and they will not change for you. So if you're starting your studies in September of 2026, and your program does not change, you'll know exactly what your tuition will be, not only for this coming academic year, but for the next 2 academic years, which takes you all the way to the end of April of 2029. So this is something we're very, very excited about because it makes planning for your studies so much easier, so much more predictable. And I encourage you to scan this QR code to check out what our tuition rates will be for the next 3 years. Now, here is a brief timeline of the important steps you'll have to take over the next few months. So first of all, once you apply and you get your offer of admission, you'll need to accept the offer of admission typically by May 1st or by the date indicated in your offer of admission letter. And please read that offer of admission very, very carefully and very thoroughly. Review it with your parents. Make sure you read all the information there because it's all quite important. However, if you wish to accept your offer of admission earlier than May 1st or the date indicated in your offer letter, you're welcome to do so. You can accept the offer and then hopefully you'll be able to begin the study permit application process earlier as well. You would first need to pay the deposit towards your tuition in order to receive the PAL or Provincial Asset Attestation Letter. If you're made an offer for residence, a guaranteed place to live in residence, you would need to accept your place no later than June the 10th and also pay the separate deposit to secure your place in residence. Keep in mind, if you apply for your study permit and for some reason it is not approved by the Government of Canada, which I certainly hope will not happen, you have the peace of mind in knowing that the deposits paid would be fully refunded to you. So you would then accept the offer of admission, pay the deposit, receive the PAL to begin the study permit process, accept the offer of residence accommodation, select your classes as of July, and pay your tuition. And once you've done that, you can then make all your travel plans to come to Ottawa and begin your iStart orientation. So this is the entire timeline of what you can expect in your journey to Carleton. If you will be eligible for admission to Carleton University, the offer of admission package will be accessible to you online. And please, as I said, read through it very carefully and very thoroughly. Within the offer of admission, you will know whether or not you received a scholarship. You will have, you may or may not have a guaranteed place to live in residence. You'll also find, if you are an international student, you'll find a document entitled the Student Information for a Study Permit. And this is a special document that you would need to support your application for the study permit. There are also many other bits of information that's very helpful to you, including registration instructions and things like that. So even click on the links that accompany your offer of admission to review all of those details as well. Here's an example of what the offer of admission may look like. So the offer packages are available in Carleton 360, and you'll be able to see all the information that you need to move forward in terms of the next steps. We may have based our admission decision on your midterm or first semester results, or perhaps your predicted grades, depending on your curriculum. If this applies to you, the offer of admission may be conditional. Don't worry about that. That's completely normal. Students that have not yet graduated from high school, they're all typically receiving a conditional offer of admission, but that does not inhibit your ability to apply for a study permit. So keep up the hard work. We want you to graduate high school. We want you to maintain good grades, but you can begin the study permit process as you go. So we're going to ask for your final official results once those become available. Even if those become available in, let's say, May or June, or even as late as August, don't despair about that. Hopefully you will have already begun the study permit application process. You may have already received your study permit, and we will simply await your final results whenever they become available to then hopefully remove the conditions associated with your admission. If you've already graduated and you uploaded your own documents directly to your application, those documents may be unofficial, so we may ask for additional information to verify those documents as well. So that can also be a condition. So please send your official final documents to us once it is available. That's very, very important. But keep in mind, we won't be reissuing a new offer of admission letter to you. So even though your admission letter may say it's conditional, we can then remove those conditions, but we do not reissue a brand new offer of admission package to you. I want to temper your expectations in that regard. So thank you so much for participating in this session. Again, my name is Andy Rayburn, and I am happy to offer guidance and assistance to you, as all of my colleagues are. You're welcome to reach out to me at my email address, when my colleague Sarah will be able to share that with you in the chat in just a moment. But you're also welcome to reach out to us at international@carleton.ca. We're here to guide you and support you at every step of the way in your journey to Carleton. Sincerely, we are. We want to help you. We want to answer your questions. There are no such thing as a silly question, just simply silly mistakes. So feel free to ask questions of us, ask about the weather, ask about the application process, ask for clarity on something that might seem confusing to you. We're always happy to help you out. Thank you so much for participating today.